to Out West, the official podcast of the Western Governors Association. I'm Anna Kaplan, the manager of the Western Governors Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the Western Governors Association. Each year, the Western Governors Foundation hosts Celebrate the West, an annual art competition that challenges high school students to create works of art inspired by their state or otherwise evocative of the West. Today, we sit down with Elsa Axman, who is our overall first place winner in this year's competition. Elsa, welcome to the show. For those listening in, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Elsa Axman. I go to Davies High School and I'm a junior and I live in North Dakota.
And Elsa, how did you get into art?
So from a young age, I've always been pretty creative, painting, drawing. And then my mom started putting me in art classes at the local art museum. And so I started to enjoy that a lot. And then obviously I had art in school and I liked that. And then probably a couple of years ago, I started painting at home more regularly and for fun. And now I'm here.
I actually remember your piece when it came in because it was so unique, not just aesthetically, but in this very unique and personal yet relatable narrative that it told. And I want to talk about that story in a second, but for those who haven't seen it yet, could you describe it?
Yes. So it's a bird's eye view of a table with table settings. So there's like plates, food, and like a quilt and doily and whatnot. And I wanted the food to be like very representative of the area and what a lot of people eat and stuff. So I have like beets, pickles, salad, and I tried to add in Swedish designs. Like on one of the plates, there's rose mulling because at my grandma's house when we go to eat, you can tell that she's Swedish. Like there's Swedish food, Swedish plates, and I wanted to make that apparent. And then I also painted a recipe on the table and some mail because the table is never super clear because everybody's looking at the mail and newspaper and whatnot.
That dining room table chaos is so relatable and wholesome. But I have to ask about that recipe. I love that detail because it's this sort of hidden gem of an item among all of these little tokens of your life and your family's story. And I have to know, is that a real recipe of your grandma's?
Yes, well, I don't. My grandma's bun recipe, which what I was trying to make it after, is top secret.
Oh,
So I
gotcha.
kind of just, since you couldn't super see it, I just put like what you normally put in a bun, like flour and eggs or whatever. But the idea is real because my grandma does make some really good buns.
So we've kind of talked through the physical items represented in this piece, but I'm curious, when you look at this piece, what kind of feelings does it bring up for you?
Well, I think when I look at it, it brings back good memories because so many people in North Dakota, and I hope everywhere, have family suppers, and it's just a time to talk and get to know people more and know how their day was and whatnot. And I wanted to represent that because I think it's important and it's just fun.
I mean, I think that one of the great things about your piece is that it is a dining table, and everyone can, in some capacity, relate to those memories that we make around the food and the good company. What is one of your favorite memories from around the table?
A couple years ago, we made lefse with my grandma, and then it was special when we ate it because I was like, man, this took a lot of time to make, and it's it was worth it. Or just whenever we have big family dinners, the stuff I hear, the stories I hear, it's very like fun and gratifying.
So, I don't know if you know this, but your piece has already been seen by thousands of people across the West. What do you hope that viewers will get out of looking at your piece?
I hope that they get the feelings like happiness around a family meal, and hopefully some of them know like what the food is and they can think, oh man, I should go home and cook that because it's really good. And they see the painting and they're like, oh, now I can remember this great family meal I had with my aunts and uncles, with my grandparents. and shared over like meals you always have and something that's special to them.
It's so meaningful and so relatable. And if that's what you wanted people to get out of looking at your piece, you couldn't have done a better job. Could you walk us through the process of creating it?
Yes. So I started brainstorming ideas on what I could do that represents my state and where I live. And so my sister and I came up with this idea, to do a table. But obviously, I had to think, what should go on this table? So I thought back to like when I would go to my grandparents a lot and what we had. And obviously, I had to do Nefla soup because that's like a staple in the German household. So I had that. And then I thought, what else do we eat? So I added other foods that we normally ate, like to my rough sketch. And then I actually like went down to my kitchen and I put bowls and plates like in certain ways to see how I like it. And I took a picture. And then that helped me with like the scaling and whatnot. And then I got to painting. So I painted the table and then I was like, this table is kind of boring. So I decided to add the quilt and the doily because a lot of tables have those. And I thought it was a good way to add color and dimension. So I did that. And then I painted the food. And then, like, the final touches, like the fork or the soup spoon and whatnot. And then I wanted to make things not realistic because obviously it's not like, oh, that's real, more detailed. So I tried to do that and add a lot of different colors and shadows. So, yeah.
It's so interesting hearing you talk about this now because I was in on the judges' meeting and the judges were especially impressed by the detail and the depth and the structure of your piece. So, very well done. So, you're young, a junior in high school. What's next for you?
Yes, well, I need to figure that out, but I feel, well, I know I'll go to college. I'm not sure where yet, but I maybe want to get a minor in art because it's fun. I'll use it the rest of my life and I can learn more technical skill. So I'll do that. And I want to continue to be creative in painting, even if I'm not going to do that as a career, but still like incorporating that into my life.
Elsa, you rocked this interview. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested in learning more about Celebrate the West and viewing all of this year's winners, including Elsa's piece, Grandma's Table, visit our website, westgov.org/foundation. See you next time.